everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of Cross Atlantic Gaming. I'm your host, Risky the Kid, and joining me this week are my co-hosts, Chocolate Bear.
How you doing, guys?
And DocH1X1.
Hey, how's it going?
Alright, so before we get into the show, I did want to announce the winner of our giveaway of Deus Ex. And the winner, drumroll please, Mitchell!
Congrats!
Woo! We are going to start next week with a new word for a new phrase. This time around, we're just going to be giving away a month of Game Pass. So, tune in next week to get word number 1 of our 4-word phrase. But, with that, it's been 2 weeks since I've been here. You guys held down the fort yesterday. Yep, yesterday.
Yeah.
Last week. And you made some really good E3 predictions.
Solid. Across the board.
Shot for the stars.
There's nothing wrong with that. Aim high.
Yeah, we didn't get off the ground.
I think it was more like a hopeful predictions, and then, not so much. So sounds like Fable's coming, but yeah, we didn't really. We said it would be announced.
Fable is not said at the conference.
Exactly.
Okay. Just to be clear, you don't get a half point or anything
Nothing.
For that prediction.
Nothing.
All right. Well, speaking of E3, this is the first cast since all of that happened. So I just want to know what some of the things that you guys are most excited for. Some games maybe that you learned a little bit more about. You finally saw some gameplay, new trailers, anything. Chocolate, anything that you're excited about coming out of E3 now?
Definitely Division 2. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it looks like more Division, for sure.
Definitely more Division. I've never got into a Division 1 and the proper grindiness of it, so I'll be looking to finally get into something that's a little bit grindy, shoot and loot. That Cyberpunk really interested me, tickled my fancy.
Cyberpunk, I would assume, is that you two as Doc? You as well, Doc? Can't talk today.
Absolutely. Big Witcher fan, so yeah, definitely.
That game looks so good. I can't wait to actually see more gameplay, see what we're going to be doing. Looks insane, though.
That trailer was wild, for sure.
Yep.
I mean,
so much stuff to break down and pick apart from that one trailer. It's crazy.
Great.
Yeah, I thought that was good. I thought that new Shadows Die Twice from Software, Activision's publishing, I thought that looked pretty cool at the Microsoft conference. And then, I don't know. I mean, other than that, I'm hopeful for Division 2 also. I'm kind of like Chocolate. I played the first one when it first came out, but fell off of it. But, interested to see what they kind of improve on with this one.
That's the thing. If this picks up where the Division 1 left off with how much stuff they had added, if your base game is that and then you're improving off of that, I think we could be in for something really good here with a decent end game. Like they said, raids this time around with 8 people. That should be awesome. If those are done well, that's going to be probably some of the most fun you can have in that game.
And that and the DLC is first year is completely free, so there was that too. So
yeah, that was a good theme of the conferences, I thought, or just the C3 in general, is a lot of people moving away, which, I mean, we've talked about this before, but everybody kind of stepping away from that season pass model and going to a free model, and then having either loot boxes, or what a lot of the companies are doing now is where you just buy exactly what you want as far as cosmetic stuff, which is the perfect way to do it. Because if you don't want to spend money, don't spend money, and you're still always going to be able to play everything with your friends. So
it's the fairer way to do it, isn't it? You want to know where you spend your dollars and your pounds and what you're actually buying, not this random generated brown shoe that I keep getting.
It's the more straightforward it can be, the better, obviously. And we actually have a little addendum to make on that whole season pass thing later from one of our beloved companies called Activision. So we'll talk about that later.
All right. For me, it was Cyberpunk was definitely a big one. The Last of Us 2, I also thought that whole showing was incredible. If the actual gameplay is fluid in any way like that whole trailer was, I don't know. That's like next level shit, in my opinion, is watching the combat in that Last of Us demo. But yeah, that had me pretty excited.
Sony's conference though just felt odd.
Blech. I didn't like their conference at all, but it's like the stuff they showed.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was all the stuff surrounding those few gameplay trailers. It was just, I don't know.
I still don't know how I feel about that Norman Reedus game.
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding, yeah.
No one knows what to feel about it.
I have no doubt it's going to be good and I'm going to love it, but that was maybe not one of the better showings I'd seen of it so far, because they opted to like show a lot of him.
A lot of him carrying stuff
around,
and that was
it. And I'm just like, well, maybe
I agree.
Maybe a little bit less that, even if it's a shorter trailer, but I don't know. I'm sure it'll be great, But yeah, Last of Us looked, borderline real life, not a video game at certain parts.
Yeah, where like the nasty, gory stuff is happening, and I'm finally starting to like cringe a little bit because it's like borderline real life.
Yeah, imagine that's how it would probably truly look like.
Exactly.
If somebody got gutted in real life. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think those are 3 good ones that we have there. But all right, what have you guys been playing this week? Doc, we'll start with you.
I actually ended up getting Jurassic World Evolution, the park builder game based off the Jurassic World movie, and I was a little afraid at first when I had pre-ordered it because I was actually really excited about this, and then the first review that came out was IGN gave it a 4.5, and I'm
geez.
well, I might be refunding this game. And then I guess they were just a really crazy outlier because after it was all said and done, Metacritic, it's around like 85 on Metacritic.
Wow, that's really low for IGN.
Yeah, well, and I don't know if the game just I read his article and he had some issues to where I felt like maybe it was he had played the game so briefly maybe that he just didn't quite. I don't know. I don't know why he had such an issue with it, but I will say this though, having played the game, I was even a little hesitant at first to recommend it as a $60 game, but I have put so many hours in that this week that game is really fun as a park builder and a Jurassic Park dinosaur game. It's really great.
So what makes it different than like your normal, like obviously it's dinosaurs or whatever, but is there something in particular that really stands out to make this different than any type of park builder?
I would say, so this is from the same team that brought Planet Coaster, I think was the name of the game, Planet Coaster, I believe. And I guess the selling point for this game is that, of course, you've got you build a park, you've got like, convenient, like food restaurants, things like that for guests, hotels, things like that. But then it's got the whole aspect of like, well, put up a security fence for your dinosaurs, and then it's got the whole like you have to go extract DNA from fossils, and then you have incomplete genomes, and you have to fill in part of their genomes with different animals like sharks or frogs or lizards, things like that, and each give different abilities and traits, and you can even change how they look, like the color tone on the dinosaurs. So it's got this whole other component of like messing with genetics and that kind of stuff, but in a really simple, straightforward way. So it's really deep in terms of like the whole dinosaur part of the game of like evolving, or not evolving, but I guess kind of like mutating them in different ways. I mean, like it's still obviously like that's a T-Rex, it's still a T-Rex, but like this one is yellow with stripes, or kind of something crazy, not that crazy, but basically really phonetically different than what you would think of as like a T-Rex in a movie. So that whole part of that game is really cool. And I've just had a blast with it too. Like it's the dinosaurs are also way smarter than you would give them credit for. Like the raptors in particular, I've particularly had a lot of trouble with because I eventually started to where I would double fence the raptor cage, and then I eventually upgraded to like electric fences, and they kept figuring out different ways to get out. So it was like I don't know. It's a fun game, and there's a lot to do in it actually, even though it doesn't look like it from the just kind of general appearance, but it's a lot of fun. Anybody that likes a park builder, I would definitely recommend this, or just Jurassic Park stuff actually. So
That's the thing. So, like, I'm wondering, that IGN guy, did he play 20 minutes, hates Jurassic Park, and also hates park builders? Probably not the best guy for the job.
Yeah, it
That's
sounded
real
like
weird.
it sounded like he had a very brief stint with it, and I thought, I don't know, I thought most reviewers kind of, I assumed that was they know better than that kind of thing. I don't know, maybe he had way more hours, but it seemed like he had only played into the first 2 islands, and even at that, hadn't really done a whole lot or spent much time in it. So I don't know.
How much time do you think you have in this game right now?
I want to say probably at least 35 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, I had
good.
no.
That's for $60, whatever.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm only on the second of 5 islands. I've unlocked the third, but and now I'm just going back trying to perfect the park on the first 2 I've got, and I never thought I would get this much enjoyment out of that game. I remember being in the Discord the first day, and somebody was asking me if it was worth it, and I'm like, $60, I don't know, but now I can say like totally worth $60. This is a really good game.
If that's the type of game you're into, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like obviously if you're not into, any kind of park builder kind of thing, I mean that is the crux of this. But if you like that type of game, then definitely.
Cool. Last question I had about that, just because I'm curious, is each island, I'm assuming there must be something different. Is it like different dinosaurs or different hazards moving from like island to island?
So dinosaurs are all dependent on you going to different parts of the world and uncovering them or setting up dig sites. So you can technically get any dinosaur on any island. I think they pretty much save the bigger ones to like one of the last 2 islands. I know like the second to last island is about the point where you can finally get and even though it's fake, Indominus Rex. I think that's the only fake dinosaur they put in the game from the movie.
And that was that was from the movie, right?
Yeah. I think that's the only actual fake one. But they kind of tie that into the story. It actually has somewhat of a story tied to it, and I think they kind of tie that one in. Aside from that one, you can relatively get any dinosaur at any time if you just dig in the right place, and once you dig there, it tells you what fossils might be there, and then you have to get them back and get the DNA out and stuff like that. But now as far as the islands go, their big thing so far I've noticed is that the first island's like the beginner island, not much goes wrong. Second island, there's a lot of storms, which can knock out power, things like that. Also, I've built up the second island to where it's profitable enough now to where I'm actually starting to have sabotage happen. So they even take like the Newman aspect from the first Jurassic Park movie, and you can actually have like sabotage from internal employees.
What?
Yeah, so like randomly, like I had everything perfect, had like over 15,000 people in my park, and the raptor cages opened up on their own, and I couldn't close them. So that was really great. Yeah. What's even funnier, the last thing I'll say about this, they give a little throwback to the first Jurassic Park game in the gift shop. One of the things you can sell is a trademarked can of Barbasol, which is what Newman used in the first movie to get the DNA out with. Yeah, so it's kind of a cool throwback.
All right, well, hey, I gave you a lot of time on Jurassic World.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And now I'm about to ask you how the skeleton thrown up to Sea of Thieves is. Might be a mistake, but tell us about it.
This is pretty brief. I just basically jumped back in to get the weekly. So they've started like the weekly updates and stuff, and they're basically every week they'll add something new, and then they give 2 weeks for you to get whatever rewards are tied to that. And this one for this week is they have randomly placed skeleton thrones throughout the world, and like usually in like hard to reach places. 8 of them you can set in by yourself and get the. There's a new currency actually that you can use just with the build rats. There's 8 of these thrones that if you set in by yourself, you can get currency, and there's actually 8 to where you have to have somebody from a different crew to set in it with you to get it or unlock it.
From a different crew?
Yes. So they're taking that angle again, and me and my buddy got lucky. We happened to run into another sloop of 2 guys who were really cool, and we pretty much knocked them all out. But I don't know. I get why Rare's kind of taking this angle with this stuff, but I have a feeling that more often than not, a lot of people are going to have way more trouble with this just because more often than not, I feel like people aren't very cooperative, online.
I would say I feel like you ran into 2 of the nice people.
Yeah, we got lucky. Yeah, we got lucky, but
That's like 3% of the player base is
Yeah.
not jerks.
yeah, and even to that note, the last throne we did, which was one of the harder ones to get, we happened upon a galleon and a sloop who were clearly doing the same thing. But while we were trying to get that throne, they had pretty much got it, and I thought they were going to help us out. But what did they do? They just turned their guns on us and started fighting us.
Wonderful.
So yeah, so it was even a group that were trying to do the same thing, and even that didn't last as far as the peace. So yeah, but it's cool though that they're constantly adding stuff. This isn't super substantial. Like I basically got a new outfit, and you can trade in the currency for like a rep with the other 3 factions. So that was kind of, I guess, a neat thing that you could do. But I don't know. It's kind of this content update was thin, but you get the idea that this is going to be kind of the theme of their weekly stuff, though.
You can see the structure of it at least.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So that was it, Doc, for you.
Yeah, just those 2.
Chocolate. How about you? How's your week been? What are you playing?
Playing wise, jumped into FIFA again. Obviously, the World Cup has started, so it's been a great time to play FIFA. Finished off Telltale's Batman, the first one. I think I've been slowly burning on that for ages.
And I have the second one to go play.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm going to take a little break from from the Telltale games.
I did play the first one. I actually enjoyed it a lot.
Story's brilliant, and the way they've moved on from the normal button bashing and the slight, move the joystick left or right.
Yeah, especially
It's a
with
lot better.
Batman, because it's some of those sections are so like not just dialogue focused, but actually like action focused and combat focused.
I mean, that last fight, it is.
Yeah,
you
dude.
Literally have to concentrate, and
Yep.
It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. Jumped about 3 seconds into AC Origins. Haven't played that game for months.
Oh,
Had
you
no
gotta
idea.
get through that.
I really need to finish that too. Yeah.
Oh,
I have to
both of
start
you.
again. I have to start it again. I've lost my combat. I don't know how to fight. It was all friggin' thumbs and elbows, and it was dreadful. So
Isn't that nice though? It's not your typical Assassin's Creed game where it's like hit the B and parry,
True,
hit
but
the A and dodge.
it was frustrating as hell because I had a good chunk of time that I could have ploughed through in the story that I wanted to finish, but yeah, I'll have to start that one again.
That just makes me think of that meme that they always use on forums. It's like Gandalf when he's looking in mines at the 3 different tunnels and he can't remember which way to go. It's just him looking confused, being like, when you've left a game for too many months and you come back and you're like, I have no memory of this game. Like, how does combat work?
It is terrible, and I'm not the greatest for my memory anyway, so it drove me nuts. So
That's
stupidly, I jumped into Fallout 4.
Hey, good game though. Another good one.
Great game. Haven't touched it for about 6-7 months, and had to fight some sort of legendary slug thing being on Far Harbor. I can't think of the name, but it's a pain in the arse.
So did you go through the main? Isn't the Far Harbor the DLC stuff?
Mm-hmm.
DLC, yeah.
So you played through the Fallout 4, the original Fallout 4 game?
Not all of it. I think I got stuck on something and then thought I'll start the DLC.
Okay.
So I jumped on try.
I didn't know if it was like something that tacked on to the end of Fallout 4, not something you could do.
No,
while
yeah,
you're
you
in
can
the middle of the playthrough.
intertwine.
Okay, cool.
So you can intertwine. I thought I'd level up my character. So yeah, finally defeated that. So only got about an hour or so into it. So I was quite happy. So it's been a good week. England won today as well, which is always a plus.
Yeah.
You said it was in the dying minutes of the game.
Dying minutes, yeah. They started off really well, like flying, and then as England normally do, they trip up, fail. The opposition scored, and then they kind of sat on their bums for the next 50 odd minutes.
That's great.
And then all of a sudden, injection of pace, and off they went and scored again.
I heard about
Well,
Germany
we're-
losing to Mexico.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh god,
big
that was a
news,
great
right?
game. That was a great game, the Mexico game. Oh.
Because I'm assuming they were the favorites again because they won it last time, right?
Germany are always up there and going to
Okay.
be a favourite. They're like their cars, aren't they? They're solid, reliable, dependable, and they always go.
That's what I say about Germans all the time.
All right. Well, speaking of the World Cup, we did get a couple questions in. Were these both from Sweeney?
They were indeed, yeah.
Okay. The first question he had was, who do you want to win the World Cup? And that was for everybody. For me, the U.S. is out, so that sucks. And then it was like, oh, hey, how about Italy? And I was like, oh, nope, Italy's not in. Who speaks English? Yeah, all right, we'll go with England. I have no horse in this race.
Yeah, I might as well say England too.
Oh, I'm loving it.
I bet you are.
I will go with England as well.
All right, perfect.
Let's be honest, they're not going to win.
Hey, you never know.
No, we do know this is England.
Okay, fair enough.
When's the last time England won the World Cup?
1966.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that
That
was
was
a
the
while
last
ago.
time
huh?
they were in the final. 1966.
Oh, damn.
What's the
Okay.
farthest they've gotten since then? Do they make it like quarterfinals or anything
gosh.
now?
I'm trying to think quarters or semis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, listen, I was going to say a country of failures. That sounds so harsh. When it comes to football, we're not very good.
All right. Well, this next question is gonna be a doozy.
Oh.
If you had to put a team of 11 players together from video games to play in the World Cup, who would they be? And this is, I'm gonna let you go through this, Chocolate. This is Sweeney's lineup. Go for it.
Well, I can set you guys up for this. So,
Okay, go.
in goal,
Yeah.
we want someone big, for me personally, big, strong, and to be honest, that takes up the whole goal. So if you can think of the biggest, hugest game character,
Maybe Bowser? Or maybe Waluigi? He's tall and lanky.
So go. Just bear with me for a second. What about Kirby?
Like sucking the ball?
Because he just like activates his like vacuum mouth and he can suck up anything. Are you not allowed
Follow
to
up.
put the ball in your mouth in soccer?
Yeah, I was about to say, follow-up question. Is that allowed by the rules? I know hands are out, but...
Well, no, for the goalkeeper, he can use his hands. So yeah.
Oh, right. Actually, never mind. Yeah.
So,
Big
yeah,
soccer
it'll be
fan
fine.
here.
So, try not to swallow the ball, but we'll be fine.
And then he'll just turn into a soccer ball. Isn't that what happens
Yeah.
with Kirby? Perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
And then what are we going for? Someone as a right back. We want a nice, quick player who goes up and down the field a lot.
Sonic?
No, you
Sonic's
wanna keep-
fast
You want to keep him for the striker position.
because
Oh, okay.
he's so fast.
Yep.
Okay.
We're not playing pretty football. We're playing to win. We're playing
Okay.
long balls every
Fair.
time.
Fast, but not Sonic.
What about Luigi?
Yeah, he seems like a useless asshole. Let's put him there.
Yeah, you can go with Luigi. And then we want two strong centre backs, big presence. I'm trying to think of.
Oh, Doom guy, definitely, because he would just kill anybody coming at him.
Just straight up
Yeah.
murder
And then
him.
that would solve that issue, yellow card, whatever. He killed them. They're out.
Yeah, and then I'm feeling Solid Snake as well. I
Yeah.
want someone sneaky and just to play that role behind him.
Yeah.
And then we need a left back. Who are we going to put as our left back?
Well, you got
Again, same as the right back. It's that type of energetic, up and down.
I was gonna say, well, you put Luigi on one side, so you can just put Mario on the other.
Yeah. Put the brothers.
Stick the brothers there. And then what do we want? We want a midfield. We are going for a very heavy, strong midfield. So we want two big characters in the middle.
Big.
Tough
Gear-
SOBs.
Gears of War. Anyone? From
Yeah, I'm
Gears
thinking
of
somebody
War?
from Gears of War.
Dom?
Yeah, that's. I
I'll
was just about
tell
to
you
say
what, actually, we could go. Yeah, you could go
Marcus Phoenix,
Dom, Phoenix. We'll have one more.
Carmine,
Holt.
even.
What? No, he'll get injured and die.
Yeah, he'll actually die.
Thinking Coltrane.
Hey, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if Coltrane's
Coltrane
not
on
on
the-
this team, then we did something wrong.
Yeah, we effed up. Yeah.
We're going Coltrane on the left. I
Okay.
think he'll be nice and fast. You might as well go for the whole Gears team across the midfield.
Just that whole midfield is all
Yeah.
Gears of War. I like that.
It's Gears of War. They'll win the ball. And so up front we've got Sonic, and then
Okay.
someone else.
Someone else fast.
Or tall, really tall. Did they ever make an Inspector Gadget game?
Oh, I'm sure they probably did.
And that is our striking partnership.
It's
Sonic and Inspector
He
Gadget.
could dribble the ball all the way into the net.
Yep.
Just,
Can you
extend his leg out.
extend his leg out in that big boot?
He wouldn't have
Yeah.
to leave the middle of the pitch.
Oh,
he could just
no,
stand
no,
there and
no.
use his legs.
I want one of the Battletoads when they do their third kick. Their foot turns into like a
Oh,
humongous
yeah.
boot. They would go through the goalie, like it would just go through his chest.
Think about how hard they could kick that ball.
Yeah,
That'd be scary. I like a
Alright.
Battletoad up there.
yeah.
We'll go Battletoad. We'll sack off Inspector Gadget.
And if not, at least put him on the bench, have him ready to go. Then you can have both of them. Zit and Pimple or whatever the hell their
Yeah,
names
there
are.
you go. Yeah, there you go. Yes, I think that is it. Yeah,
It's the worst names.
It
in
really
video
is.
games. It's so
it
bad.
really is.
God.
So thanks for writing those in, Sweeney.
That was pretty good.
All right. So what have I been playing then? It's been a couple weeks since I've been here, so I did finish Detroit Become Human. I don't really care to go back to it to play. I've talked about this before, but like I had my story and I thought it was a good ending how my game ended. I don't know, that whole thing was really good, but it's also obviously very story focused. That's not what you're into. Don't play it. It took me about 12 hours, I think, is what I clocked at the end of it. So if you are looking to play it multiple times, you can probably get your money's worth.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good game, though. One thing I got back into pretty heavily lately is Grand Theft Auto 5 online. I don't know why. We streamed it one night, actually. I think it was last Wednesday. Our Wednesday night stream. Organic Avenger actually set a playlist up for us, and we played through a bunch of stuff. And then it's like Shopa and Lou and my other buddy Dan that I always play with. We were like, that was a lot of fun. We should do this a lot more often. So it's like, I think we did 2 heists this weekend.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we did a bunch of stuff. The Simeon missions, I think that's his name, Simeon. I don't know. He gives you missions to like steal cars and stuff like that. They were
Right.
double RP and double cash. So at one point I was beating these missions that took about like 3 or 4 minutes, and then setting a timer for 11 minutes because the payout like doubles if you're in the mission for 15 minutes.
Oh,
wow.
wow.
So-
So you literally just kind of wait until the time passed.
That's like I was cleaning the house and stuff. I would like
That's great.
set the timer
That's
at the
great.
beginning, play it for 3.5 minutes, beat the mission. We'll get to like the end where I only had to drive forward another 10 feet, set my timer, go do the dishes or whatever. My timer would go off. I'd run back, play the mission again quick. I was so productive on Saturday. It was ridiculous. Like
That's that clicker hero experience coming into play there.
essentially, yes.
Sounds like, yeah.
My time played compared to not played that day very heavily skewed in me not touching a controller.
Perfect.
Yeah,
How does
it was
those
great.
playlists work? Do you get to save them, or are they then vanished?
Yeah,
Which is-
so what he did, because I'm in like the 16-ounce crew, Organic can set them up through like Rockstar Social Club, so he can do it online where he can just pick
Okay.
missions and
Oh,
put them
okay.
right into a playlist, which is pretty awesome. So, and there's so many jobs that you can pick from, like so many custom, because it's not only just Rockstar created stuff, it's also like user made stuff too. So there's so much stuff to actually choose from, and some of the stuff's really good, even like the community made stuff. But that was so much fun. My face hurt from laughing so much after, like, we ended up streaming 3 hours that Wednesday night, and we're usually like a 10 to midnight thing, so it's like 2 hours usually, but it was like 1 a.m. and we were like, well, we should probably go to bed or something. So yeah, getting back into that, it's that game's awesome.
I need to jump into it. I haven't been into that in years.
Yeah, it's
Some of them,
a lot of fun.
yeah, some of the most fun I've had in 16-ounce community plays have been with Grand Theft Auto. So it's that online is it's pretty fun. There's a lot of good game modes in that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of nervous about Red Dead because I think I'm just going to wish it was Grand Theft Auto Online, like with the Red Dead Online stuff.
I am kind of wondering how that's going to pan out. Like, you almost wonder, is like, can you be as creative? You know, like Grand Theft Auto, it's like you can have everything from jetpacks to crazy ramps with vehicles.
Yeah,
and
literally
it's like,
anything.
Yeah, are they kind of limited with the setting with Red Dead? So we'll see.
Just racing horses off ramps and loop-de-loops and stuff.
Oh yeah, I got a feeling PETA's gonna have a heyday with Red Dead 2 in the online mode with how many ways horses are gonna die.
Yep.
I'm sure they had a with the first Red Dead, didn't they? They kind of threw a curveball with the what was the zombie?
Undead
that
Nightmare?
was yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure they're not scared to throw
That's true.
something strange.
If they come out like up front, they're like, this is completely different than like Red Dead. Like, this isn't any type of canon. This is just our bullshit online mode.
Maybe
or that playlist. We have one bullshit playlist where it's just everything and anything. You know, cowboys and alien.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
far-fetched.
yeah. What if they said like online is an alternate reality of the West, and then they just kind of give themselves an out with that? You know, like steampunk, whatever. Just go crazy with it. It's like, you know, single player is a real story, online it's an alternate reality kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. It'll be nice to be, because I didn't start Grand Theft Auto Online like right away, because I kind of like did the story stuff and I was like, yeah, whatever. But as it grew and grew, that's when I hopped into it. So it'd be kind of cool starting Red Dead Online like day one and keeping up with people. Because if you haven't been like saving your whole life in Grand Theft Auto, it's like every new update costs millions of dollars, which takes me literally like months to make in that game. So
yeah.
All right, and then the last thing I got to play was some Fortnite on Switch. I actually tried that out right after the Nintendo press conference on, was that Tuesday?
Mm-hmm.
So that came out. I downloaded it on lunch, and I've been playing that here and there ever since. I don't play a lot of it on my Xbox, but because it's on my Switch for whatever reason, I'm playing it a lot more. And it's like I had bought the Battle Pass and then not done anything with it, so I've gone up like 20 tiers in the last week, when I before that I hadn't done like anything for it. So
yeah,
that's kind of cool.
How are you finding it on the Switch? Is it
like it plays fine. I think it runs smoothly. The only thing for me is it's such a small screen that if I have it actually like docked, I would assume I could see way more, but I feel like I'm literally holding my Switch up like in my face just for those people that are like sniping me from a mile away. I can't see them in handheld mode.
Just old man gaming.
Exactly. It's like you're gonna hurt your eyes.
you're going to need one of those Game Boy. What did the Game Boy used to do? The magic mirror.
Oh, the magnifying glass type thing? Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
So I'm going to need that, Nintendo. Just for when I'm playing Fortnite. No, but I played a crossplay game with Shopa. He was playing on his PC and I was playing on my Switch. I got wrecked, obviously.
Oh god, I bet.
So like that kind of sucks. It's cool that crossplay is there and like we didn't have any type of issue with communication or whatever. Like I plugged in my headphones, he plugged in his, and we were good to go. But yeah, you're not gonna beat people if you're playing on the Switch against people on a PC. You're just asking for it at that point. But had to give it a try.
Yeah, I think my plan might be to boot it on the Switch, put it in docked, use the Pro Controller, and just hope everybody else is playing in handheld, and then I just get lucky and get a llama that way.
That's the thing. Like,
just go for that.
The competition, if you're just playing in Switch mode and you're using a Pro Controller right now, it's like you're probably going to kill a lot more people than normal, like compared to if you're playing on Xbox. So. That's how I felt, at least. It's like, did I get better? No, you're playing on a Switch against a bunch of people playing on a Switch.
Or on a phone.
Yeah, exactly. Or on a phone.
Oh man.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you guys been playing or wanted to cover for the week?
Not much for me. Not much else.
All right.
I'll leave my Marvel Strike.
I can't believe you were gonna skip this.
Damn it.
So what did you just whisper there that I barely heard you say, Chocolate?
Marvel Strike Force on my mobile. I have,
I was going to ask if this is the new AAA game on the console, but mobile, you say?
yes, mobile, unfortunately.
Tell me
Hero
more.
is dead. Hero is dead.
I've been playing that game for like 2 months now, and then I saw it in the show notes that you were playing Marvel Strike Force. I was like, what? Get in my alliance now.
Join my alliance.
Need to show me where the button is. Oh, it's driving me mad. Just trying to upgrade your. I think they're level 25 at the moment.
Yep.
And now I've just like plateaued. I can't get my whatever you use to upgrade them.
You'll get there.
Oh,
It just takes a lot of 15-minute, 1 hour, 3 hour timers on your phone. I hope you enjoy the sound of your timer tone because
yeah, no. Normally it's the
This
baby
all
cry.
sounds amazing.
That's what it is. It's the baby cry, the night feed. Put my phone out. I'm too weary to look at Discord or anything else.
there you go.
Do the old auto at the top and then just kind of.
That's the thing. Like half the time when I'm playing this game, I'm not playing this game. I'm like auto battle 5 times and use up all my stamina, and then I don't have to play for another 3 hours. It's like a chore, and I love it. I don't.
I usually grade these mobile free-to-play games on what the name of the currency, in-game currency is. What do they call their in-game currency that you can buy?
Power cores.
Okay,
yeah.
that's okay. All right, pretty cool.
Uh,
Better than gems.
So yeah, which I feel like that's everywhere. Everybody uses gems.
Right.
This game dishes out a decent amount of them though. Like as far as like if you play like do your daily objectives, you actually get a decent amount of the premium currency, which is kind of nice.
Okay.
But they're not afraid to throw the buy
Splash
this
up
for
that screen.
$19.99 banners in your face
But-
every time you log on.
But Risky, what's the best value? If I was looking for the best value.
$99.99.
Okay, that's all I want to know. Okay, because I'm looking for the best value.
That's not
here.
their most popular though. That's just best value. Most popular, $19.99.
Okay, all right.
You got that info. Do with it
Yes.
what you will.
Okay.
All right.
Have you got any new characters though? That's what I was going to ask.
Oh, you don't want to. If I go through my list of characters right now, we should just step away from this while we can.
Right.
Chocolate. We should talk about
Is
this
this like
later.
a Sea of Thieves thing?
No, this is like my Sea of Thieves, and it's a terrible mobile game. So
The only difference is he realizes it's a problem I don't realize yet. So
that's exactly what's going on here. All right. Well, let's talk about some news then. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Chocolate.
So-
What's in the news?
Microsoft E3 2018 briefing was the highest watched live stream ever on Twitch. I was going to say, Doc, is there any more on this? But
I think that headline in itself
Yeah.
speaks volumes.
that was it.
I think they said the total was 1.7 million concurrent viewers is what it topped off at. So
Oh, wow.
And that was
Which
just
is-
Twitch, so
yeah,
that's not even
just
your
Twitch,
Mixer
not
audience.
counting exactly. Yep.
Or I'm assuming they do YouTube or YouTube Live,
Yeah,
probably.
I think they
as
did
well.
YouTube, Facebook, and
Everywhere.
one other they were promoting.
think-
Yeah, probably everywhere. Yeah.
I would imagine they pushed it to anyone and everyone.
But yeah, I thought
alright.
that was probably a hell of a one to have that with, though. I mean, overall it seemed like a pretty good show, so that's probably a good win for them in terms of just the eyeballs that saw it. So
Yeah, that's
But,
good for them. And it was a good like if that many people were gonna watch it, this was
Yeah.
a good one for everybody to
Exactly.
be watching. So
yeah,
good for
yeah.
them. I hope they're on the rise here.
I just for fun, I kind of looked on the list, and a few of the other ones were other conferences in years past, and of course, Ninja I think was on the list at one point with one of his Fortnite streams. I think when he was very first blown, I think it might have actually been the Drake stream or something like that.
I know that one shattered records. So
Yeah,
probably
that was
it.
on the list. There was a few like that too. So, but yeah, it was surprisingly a lot of E3 conferences were on it as well. So,
Good deal.
but
Big now. Right. To the next one. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Special Edition announced includes Black Ops Pass. Doc, what's going on?
so we had. Let me preface this with we had previously thought, and I watched the conference. Not the conference, but the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 reveal. I interpreted what they said with we were getting multiplayer maps, all of them, for free. You know, they weren't splitting the player pools.
Because that's exactly what they made it sound like.
Right. Yeah. That's what I think me and everybody else come away with.
Yeah,
There was
exactly.
articles clearly saying, hey, they're not splitting up the player pool. The season pass is only zombies. So it turns out that is not entirely true. There will be some free maps, but not all the maps will be free. And some of them will, in fact, be behind a paywall in the season pass.
That's so. Oh my god, it's so ugly.
Yes.
It's.
I don't know if there's. Looking at this, I think they would have been better off just coming out with and saying this up front. I think this is a way worse look, honestly, especially with what Battlefield's doing this year.
No,
So,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So they haven't. This is coming from CharlieIntel.com, which they are pretty much always the go-to for all this info. They are the first. That is what they do is Call of Duty news. And Activision hasn't said anything since then. Neither has the developer, but it looks like from several different retailer sites that this is in fact true. So,
could you see a potential Battlefront moment here, where Call of Duty turn around and go, right, hang on, wait, sorry, yeah, we've done you dirty?
you know what? I think if there was ever a time for that, it would be this. I don't know if that'll actually happen because that was a whole nother beast. But the fact that this doesn't have a single player and then we find that out now, this is a hard pill to swallow for sure. I mean,
like part of the whole we don't have a campaign thing, like
exactly.
Like that was such a crappy announcement, but then they were like, hey, but all of our content is going to be free. And now they're like, well,
exactly.
Kind of maybe. We'll tell you a month after we announce all this stuff. After you pre-order it.
Right. And I could even get behind Season Pass, all the zombies, DLC. Totally fine with that. I can get behind that. There are people that love that mode and will gladly pay for that to get more maps. But, you know, I mean, if you're going to come out, say, we're not getting single player, here's the trade-off, and then, oh, by the way, asterisk on the trade-off, not entirely true, you know, that's shitty. I mean, that's just, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking with this.
Definitely doesn't look good for them, but I guarantee you this isn't going to affect sales that much.
No, it won't. It what will, honestly, at this point, you know. I mean, like, I don't know what they could do unless it was just a terrible, a mechanically bad game, which they're not going to do that. It's going to always feel pretty good. So, I don't know. But, yeah, there's a bunch of petitions going on online now for people to sign on different websites and forums being like to kind of let them know with the backlash. But, I don't see – I would like to think, like Chocolate was saying, this could be like a Battlefront moment, but I don't see it happening with Activision. But
then your competitor, theoretically, I'm going to compare them directly, Battlefield is saying everything's free.
Yeah, and not only that, but they're doing it the 100% the right way. 0 loot boxes, you can pay for cosmetics, and you know what you're paying for.
Yeah, I think they may lose some. I think sales may drop.
Or it's like the thing that they could be screwing up here was people that were on the fence with Call of Duty in general, and like this might have been the one for them. It's like then they hear this, and it's like, well, I'm back off again. Like.
Yeah, all the good work they did with the trailer and
yeah, exactly.
I'm out.
And telling you everything was going to be free.
Yeah, well, and I don't want to come across as disingenuous as being the guy that's like, hey, I never played the single player, but you're not putting in a single player that doesn't seem like worth $60. But then I was the first to say, okay, everything's free, worth $60. It's kind of hard to say that you're really getting a full-fledged. I mean, don't get me wrong, you will get your money's worth if you play this game online for $60, but it doesn't seem like the same value proposition as years past, given the fact that there's still a season pass. So,
yeah, not the best news, but it is what it is, I guess.
Way to go, Activision.
Yep.
Good job. Moving on. Friday the 13th, the game gets caught up in a copyright lawsuit. Brings, oh my god, Doc. Can you do the rest?
Yeah, so it basically, the developers of Friday the 13th, the game, Gun Media, they didn't discuss this a whole lot, and I'm assuming it's for legal reasons, but the game was basically had several lawsuits filed against them for copyright infringement, and it has actually brought an indefinite permanent end to new content. The game as is will remain online with dedicated servers, but nothing new will ever come to the game from this point on unless something actually drastically changes course in the copyright holder's eyes, I guess. That's kind of a bummer because having played this on a few community plays, this game is actually really fun to play with friends and super hilarious to be in a party chat playing. And, it sounded like they were consistently adding more stuff. And, it launched super janky on the console, but they've since worked on it a lot. It's almost had one of those Ubisoft-type post-launch support. But this is kind of a bummer, though, So, and it's weird, too, because I kind of want to know what your guys' thoughts are on the fact that I would have thought they would have kind of had all this straightened out years ago. I assume they did.
The name of your game is Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
If you didn't work out your copyright things ahead of time, somebody needs to be fired.
Right? When I first read this, I'm like, when the game was out and they were making money on it, I assumed that was all, tied up in a bowstring and done, like nothing else to talk about with the copyright infringement or anything, but, maybe not.
I wonder what the player base is on that game right now anyways. I wonder if a bunch of people are still playing it.
I've only really ever played it with friends in a private lobbies, so I'm not actually sure.
But how long's it been out? 2 years?
Oh, no, it was fairly recent. It was, I want to say maybe half a year, 6 months maybe, if that.
Okay. It's just It sounds like it's been a while for this to get momentum and someone's bringing out a lawsuit.
Yeah, the crazy part is that it was on PC early access for a while before that even. So, and it went 1.0 before it even came to console. So it's been out for, you might be right actually, Chocolate, as far as I don't know if it's 2 years, but it's been out for a while if you include PC as well. But as far as I don't know if it's maybe I'm trying to think of who always did the Friday the 13th movie, as if it was Universal or who, but I'm assuming that would be who would own the rights, but it's just so weird though that this is an issue now.
I don't get it, but the cool thing about this game though is it sounds like the core game that's there is intact and the servers are still up, so it's like if the game the gameplay is the most important thing here, so
right,
at least they're not losing that, they weren't hey, shut down servers, shut down everything.
Right. Well, what happens if they lose?
They come out and said that everything as of now is fine, will remain up. There just will be absolutely no additional content coming though. That was basically the catch. So I'm sure that was what was worked out as far as legally, but the game will remain up. They said that dedicated servers are coming to console. That is still going to happen as far as that goes, but as far as new DLC that affects anything in the game or cosmetics or levels or anything, nothing else is coming.
Bad news. Lots of bad news. Bad. All news is bad news. Someone lied.
Sorry, guys. This week.
So moving on from bad news to more bad news. E3 2018, Microsoft has no plans to bring virtual reality or mixed reality to the Xbox.
So, yeah. Well, I guess this is kind of how it depends on how you look at virtual reality. We kind of knew for a while now that Microsoft was kind of lukewarm on the whole concept of it on console, even though they had first talked about it coming to X. And since then kind of never really talked about it again. But it seems now that they're pretty much getting out there and saying, we've kind of saw the reception, we've got no current plans to bring it to console. Does that bum you guys out? What do you guys think? Were you kind of looking forward to it being on Xbox or seeing what their idea of it was, or what do you think?
Do you want to take a shot at this first?
Yeah,
Risky?
Sure. I'm not sold on VR, and this could be because I haven't actually experienced it myself, but it's the few ways that you can experience it right now are either having a high-end PC and having a Vive or Oculus, or you have the PSVR, which I've thought about getting a PSVR many times, but I'm also running on an OG PS4, so the thing's super old. It already sounds like it's going to explode, so I don't know if hooking VR. Like, the last thing I want is to be inside of a VR unit and have my frame rate be 7 frames a second because my console can't keep up with it.
Oh, right.
Like,
yeah.
That's a good way to end up vomiting everywhere. So, I don't know. And as far as like Microsoft, it's like if you, I don't know, aren't they invested in Oculus, or you can at least do all that stuff on your like Windows PC.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we really needed it on Xbox at all. So this wasn't big news to me. It wasn't not as shitty as the rest of the news this week.
Skill 0 to 10 being shitty. Wasn't that too bad.
So it's whatever for me. How about you guys?
I'm not overly interested
Mm-hmm.
in virtual reality and mixed reality. I don't think. Be naive. I haven't seen it, haven't experienced it like yourself, Risky. So I'm not fussed, and I don't think we've probably got the technology to push it as good as it should or could be.
How does
So, yeah,
VR porn sound though? We don't need to go down this rabbit hole.
As Chocolate furiously Googles this.
Yeah. Can you hear me tapping on my keyboard? Yeah, no, I'll probably step on a kid while I've got a headset on or something stupid, won't I?
That's what I've always thought about. Like, I could be sitting on my couch with like headphones on and this thing, and somebody could come in my house, steal
Totally.
my television, take my dogs, and light the place on fire, and I'm not gonna notice until my arm hair starts to burn from the fire.
But then you're like, I'm playing Doom, so just the immersion's really getting me into this hell area. This is great.
Smell-o-vision
It
as
feels
well.
hot.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm maybe not the best to ask either because I sold my PSVR.
So you actually had it.
I did, and it works. Like, don't get me wrong, it works. It is. They didn't sell you on Snake Oil or anything like it. It works as intended. It gives you that experience, and it is really cool. I mean, some of the most fun I've ever had was doing the bomb defusal with my wife, where she was reading the manual, telling me how to defuse the bomb, and it was it was a lot of fun actually. But it never to me got past the whole gimmicky. Not maybe that's the wrong word, but like, these are short experiences versus this is a full-fledged game, or this is a full-fledged game that I actually want to have this headset on for that long period of time and play.
So is this more of a software issue when it comes to VR for you then?
Probably, yeah. Well, in PSVR, I had tracking issues with it as well. That PlayStation camera is probably not the best piece of equipment ever, but
That's the weirdest
for what
thing.
it was,
Like, here's this like high-tech goggles to put on your face.
Yeah.
And do you have your Move controllers and your eye camera thing,
Yeah.
PlayStation camera from 10 years ago? Because
exactly,
you're going to need those. What?
you could tell it was shoehorned in with the tech they had at the time. And,
Yeah, for sure.
And that goes back to the Move controllers. They work, but they don't work great, you know? I mean, I don't know. It sounds like the PC is the way to go with a lot of that stuff, but even then, it never was something that I wanted to keep coming back to. Like, I would have a short experience with the game. I played it almost like you with like Detroit Become Human. Like, I played it, beat it, it was fun, it was good. I'm not going to go back to it. That was kind of been all my VR experiences so far.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
Sounds too gimmicky for me.
I think it's probably going to have a place in video games of like, it's probably not going to set the industry on fire like everybody thought, but it'll have its place in video games.
Where you can go to like a VR cafe or something and just
probably
like,
yeah.
hey, pay $10 and you can experience this game.
Yeah,
or
cross your fingers, you don't get pink eye. You know.
Oh yeah, gross. public VRs.
Yeah.
Gross.
But yeah, I don't know. I think Microsoft's doing the soft approach of like they've supported a bunch of those lower budget mixed reality ones that came out from like Panasonic and a bunch of those. But and then even Oculus and the Valve one, HTC Vive or whatever. So there's options on Windows. It's not like they're not supporting it. It's just they're not supporting it on console, which that's probably the smart thing to do.
So that it's mixed reality too. So HoloLens is probably nothing you'll ever see on your Xbox then.
I'm getting more the idea too that that's something you'll never see
in general.
with gaming. I mean, I think HoloLens will be something when you go to a museum in 5 or 10 years, you'll put on a HoloLens and you'll get to see, like, the museum will be nothing but empty rooms and empty walls, but you put on your HoloLens.
And it'll fill it.
And,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and there's, like, battles being recreated in front of you of, like, Roman times or something like that, you know? So.
I'd be down for that. I think that
Oh,
would
yeah,
be amazing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, me too. I'm like, you want to get me to go to museums more, that right there will do it. So,
Not just
yeah.
the rubbish tape recorder that you hold and put the headphones in.
That's current gen tech, so you know, it's. So yeah, I don't know, but that's pretty much all there was with that. I don't think that surprised anybody, but they actually had an actual. I think this was from Mike Nichols, who was a official Microsoft chief marketing. That was the first time they'd had somebody officially come out and say this probably isn't happening.
So they still haven't said that a handheld definitely isn't happening.
They have not said that. No.
All right. My hopes
Yeah.
are still
So I mean, yeah, they've not destroyed your dreams for that yet.
Oh,
and
actually,
hey,
you might be
I think
bringing up exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, you go ahead, Risky, because I think I know what you're going to say.
The
Yeah.
phone stuff that they showed at E3.
Yep.
Is that what you're going to say?
Yep.
So
well,
when do I get that? I will gladly do that.
Not. Yeah. Well, not only that, but they said they're working on multiple future Xbox consoles. They did say consoles, but that would be super easy to slip a handheld into that statement, though. So, you know, just saying, it's not that crazy.
It was a strange statement to. Because it was a little bit out of the blue, wasn't it? It wasn't a.
That statement to me was Microsoft basically saying we're sick and tired of all these internet forums basically saying this is the last generation for Xbox consoles. You know, because what has the talk been since Xbox has been on a positive swing? Well, the angle everybody takes now is that, well, they're just shoring up their Windows Store, they're shoring up their streaming so they can exit the hardware business and just go all PC. And this is basically Phil Spencer was like, guys, we're doing this for the long haul. Here it is, you know. I think that's all that was, but
either way, I just want to play my games on my phone.
Oh yeah, that sounds awesome.
I can't bring my 1X and my monitor into the bathroom. I mean, well, I could, but
imagine how many more achievements you could get throughout your day.
Jeez, I want it now.
You wouldn't be doing what you need to do in there, would you?
No, not at all. That's fine.
Yeah. Hang on, I've got to get this headshot. I've got to not breathe. Hang on.
I actually
got it.
It's like, are you okay in there? What's
just so much screaming and yelling. So much anger.
The one thing I didn't include in the news was actually kind of relevant to that, Risky, was that they actually came out and said that Microsoft, from several different sources at Microsoft, said they're actually shooting for 2020 for the next Xbox.
Really?
So, yeah, that, and apparently they, I think, I wish I had actually put this in now so I could actually give you the names, but I don't know if it was The Verge or who. You know, they came out and told us the code name was Scarlet, and they said that they are currently aiming for 2020, but that could change.
Isn't PS5 2021 is what they're saying? So we're gonna
Probably
have another Xbox system before PlayStation comes out with their next box. That's crazy.
Well, and what throws that into a kind of a crazy area is the fact that he said that they're talking like there might be more than one iteration of it. Now, does that mean an S and an X, or one with a disk drive, one without a disk drive? You know, what does that mean?
Oh, give me a 1X without a disk drive and chop $100 off the price.
Oh, I would gladly pay for
Any
that.
day.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you think they're trying to steal some PS4 users as well by going a year early?
If they go a year early,
if it's true.
Yeah, if they go a year early, I 100% think
if they're
that's
at
what that
4K,
is.
60 frames for every single game that comes out on that console, like, I'd come over.
Last thing on this, not to keep this going too long, but did you guys get to watch the Giant Bomb interview with Phil Spencer?
I'm burning through my Giant Bomb stuff right now, and I'm not there yet, but I will be there shortly.
The interesting thing about that is he basically straight up asked me, he goes, okay, you know, the X was all about 4K, what is the next? And he basically said what everybody was thinking and had predicted. Like, he's like, well, if you look at current consoles, the GPU to CPU is super imbalanced. You know, we basically got an old Jaguar 8-core CPU in there, and you got like a 6 teraflop GPU. It's super imbalanced. He said the next iteration is going to heavily focus on CPU. He kind of hinted at Ryzen, but it was going to heavily focus on CPU with the goal to be 60 FPS for all games.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
That's all I'm looking for.
Yep.
Now if just monitor prices will come down for HDR and 4K. It's impossible.
I want to get one of those so bad. I still haven't seen one that's got decent HDR, but it's getting there. I mean, I think it's only a matter of time. It's getting there. Used to we didn't have any HDR monitors. Now we do. So
I need it to get there, and then I need a couple years to go by so all of it drops in price. Then I'll be there.
Yeah. That's another whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Come on, Black Friday.
Yes, please.
Yeah. But, so we can head on to the next thing, Chuck. I think that's all we got for that.
Yeah. So this next one, Sony not only blocking Fortnite crossplay with Switch, they're blocking it with Xbox. Dive a little bit more into it, Doc.
Yeah, so, they've that's been their stance all along. They're blocking crossplay. We kind of knew that. What we didn't know, or I guess I guess we could have saw this coming with the Xbox, but I guess nobody really did enough investigating with it before. But crossplay is blocked, we know that. But the extra bit that people found out when Fortnite launched on Switch was that if they had ever even one time linked their Fortnite account to apologies for the dog if you can hear it, I'm going to shut the door here real quick.
You're good.
Be right back.
Mad about something. I'm Risky the Kid. Enjoy the silence.
Do.
This is where we do
all right, sorry about that.
Show tune.
Wife got in and my dog goes crazy.
Never mind. We're good.
So basically if you had ever even once linked your Fortnite account to your PS4, you were officially locked out of any other console forever, even if you unlink that Fortnite account with PS4. Meaning you could have started playing on the other consoles, then played on PS4 first, doesn't matter. Any and all purchases you have on that Fortnite account and that account name is forever tied to the PS4 console.
It's garbage. How do you do that?
Yeah.
Actually,
I'll be right back too. You guys go ahead.
It's the worst. I don't know. It looks terrible for Sony. Not only, even if you unlink your Epic account from your PlayStation, you still couldn't log in with your Battle Pass that you've purchased with the Nintendo Switch if that's a console you own.
Yeah, there's something. I don't think Sony are dousing themselves in glory here, are they? They are.
They're just shooting themselves in the foot lately. It's even their E3 stuff I didn't think was that good, and now this, and then I saw that I think it was Greg Miller put out a tweet about this.
Yeah.
And I'll just quote it. He said, "At PlayStation, fix this. Not allowing me to sign into Fortnite Switch with my Epic account because it's linked to PS4 is tone deaf and points more to fear than market dominance. It does the opposite of what you want. It makes me think about moving to Xbox for Fortnite." Greg Miller is the biggest PS4 fanboy in anywhere. So if he's saying this, I don't know, but bad look for Sony. And they responded to it too. It's so they're aware this isn't just some type of accident or weird thing that they can just oh crap, we'll fix it. It's no, what?
It's insane. I mean, it's one of those things where you can say what you want to about crossplay. This to me goes above and beyond crossplay. This is saying that we own any purchase you've ever made on that Epic account. That's crazy. Just to kind of get into the response here, I'm going to set this up. It's a pretty generic, legal, corporate, anonymous response, but for what it's worth, this is the Sony response. We are always open to hearing what the PlayStation community is interested in to enhance their gaming experience. Fortnite is already a huge hit with PS4 fans, offering a true free-to-play experience so gamers can jump in and play online. With 79 million PS4 sold around the world and more than 80 million monthly active users on PlayStation Network, we've built a huge community of gamers who can play Fortnite, who together can play Fortnite on all online titles. Sorry. We also offer Fortnite crossplay support with PC, Mac, iOS, and Android devices, expanding the opportunity to Fortnite fans on PS4 to play with even more gamers on other platforms. essentially just dodging the thing, saying, "Hey, we've sold a ton of consoles. There's plenty of people to play with. Don't worry about it." Yeah, that was their response.
What a response!
So, I think the fact that they haven't budged on this yet, and the fact that this is the biggest game that this is ever going to probably happen with, to me says that while Sony is the market leader, this will officially never change now.
Yeah, that's fair.
If this didn't do it, what's going to? This is the biggest game that there's ever been, aside from like Minecraft probably wasn't even this big at its height, or I don't know. That would be the next comparable one.
I think this is literally the biggest game
Yeah.
that there has ever been as far as outreach and fan base and everything. So if this
for
is
that
your response to all this,
exactly.
I don't know.
I can't see them ever budging at any point moving forward unless they lose the market lead. So that's a bummer.
Do you think it's that because they're the dominant console, or do you think it's because of something else? Maybe poor.
I think it's 100% that. I think it's them. If you look at it from the most greedy perspective, it is them wanting a share of everything you buy on Fortnite. So, like, obviously when you buy V-Bucks or whatever on Fortnite on PSN, like on Xbox Live, they get a cut of that share. So if you look at it from the most business, like, greedy point of view, it's they're wanting their cut no matter what. But to say that, hey, just because you once played your Epic account on our console, we now own your account, that to me, like, I was like, if there was ever a chance for them to get sued, this might be it. Because I'm sure they covered their butts in the legal terms, and that might prevent them from getting sued. But that is one of the shittiest things I've ever heard, though.
It's absolutely outrageous.
Yeah.
As you say, you're going to turn your customers. Your customers are going to be turned off by your product.
It's like Risky said, they've got this huge mind share lead, and they are just pissing it away, it seems like, whether intentionally or not, they're just, I don't know. It's super, I don't know. I don't have a good explanation for it. Like I said, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's either head in the sand, or it's we are the best, and I'm trying to think, like Activision type of, who gives a we're the shit. That's it.
Well, the thing that I think is funny too is, like, and Phil Spencer had brought this up with his Giant Bomb interview, was that it's easy for me to. Yeah, no.
You're good.
Well, he basically brought up. He goes like, "Hey, I can say whatever. It's easier for me to say whatever. I'm not the market leader. You would have every right not to trust me. But all I can say is that in no way does it help promote your platform or gaming in general to basically try to funnel off these different silos everywhere, And everybody wants to say, well, look back at last gen. Xbox was the market leader. They didn't allow it. But I also want to say, well, look back at last gen. Show me one scenario of a developer out there saying, we can link all these platforms together. This platform holder's not allowing it. I Googled it. I couldn't find one instance of that. This gen we've had Rocket League, we've had Minecraft, we've had Gwent from CD Projekt Red, now Fortnite. All these different games that the developers are saying, we want crossplay, Sony won't allow it. I couldn't find that once last gen. Now, Microsoft could have easily been that way last gen, but we don't have that to go by. And also, there was never a game like Fortnite as big as last gen either. So, I don't know.
It's just garbage.
Crazy.
Why was our news full of terrible stories?
It was a rough week, I gotta say. We had our highs with E3, and then it's like, oh, everybody simmer down. To me, Call of Duty was the worst one this week. I was bummed out. I was all ready to be on that Call of Duty train. I'll still get it, but
I'm still there.
It's a bummer. It is.
Yeah. It was bad.
It's especially with Battlefield. That is to me on this list, that is the biggest gut punch for sure. But,
I was meant to say right at the beginning, you were saying about Fortnite on the Switch. Wasn't it or was it the first week they had 2 million downloads?
Yeah, first day,
Switch?
I think.
First day.
Oh, are you serious?
2 million downloads first day.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah.
So can you imagine how many more it would have been if the PlayStation people could play on? Well, I guess you could still get your download though, so it still wouldn't count that. But those people that downloaded it and then couldn't sign in with their Epic accounts on their Switch because they were PlayStation users.
I kind of feel bad for the people that have probably invested a lot of money into the game, and then they're kind of like, I totally won't ever be able to see that stuff I've got ever again on the Switch. Like, I'm going to have to make a new account if I play on this.
Yeah, what a terrible solution.
It sucks. It really sucks. I don't know. Yeah.
I've got a bad taste in my mouth.
I gotta go shower after this news segment.
For more reason than one. That sounded weird.
Crazy.
It was weird.
That sounded completely wrong.
All right, so that's this week's news. We went from E3 to this. Some of the
all I can say is sorry. I probably should have cherry picked these better.
You couldn't find one.
Or did like a bad one, a good one, bad one, good one alternate.
The title of your no plans to bring virtual reality thing should have been "There's still hopes that we might get a Microsoft handheld," because they didn't say no.
You're right. It's all about the phrasing. That was my bad.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That does it for the news. We'll close out the episode now. This episode was sponsored by Boss Boxes. You can head on over to bossboxes.shop and use discount code 16ounce gaming for 10% off your subscription. Yeah. All right. If you want to reach out, I don't really know what else to say about Boss Boxes, if we're being honest. But 10% off. There you go. 16ounce gaming. Do it.
I love 10% off anything. I love it.
It almost covers New York sales tax. All right. If you want to connect with us in any way, you can find us on Twitter at CAG Podcast. You can reach us on Instagram. We're also at CAG Podcast there. Make sure to follow us in both those places. Like our stuff, retweet, all that good stuff. If you want to email us, if you have questions for the show, if you have comments, concerns, any of that kind of stuff, you can reach us at cagpodcast@gmail.com. That's also where we take our submissions for our contest that we do. And like I said before, we'll be starting the next one of those next episode. So make sure you tune in for that. We're also a part of the 16-ounce gaming family. If you want to reach out to us on Discord, if you want to be a part of the conversation there, we're all there daily, but a link for that Discord is in our show notes. So stop by, say hey to us. Also, Facebook there, 16-ounce gaming family, and we have a YouTube channel. All those links are down in the description, so make sure you click into all of that fun stuff. Follow, like, subscribe. If you want to find me, I'm at Risky the Kid on Twitter and Mixer and Xbox and PlayStation and everywhere that you could ever want to find me. Probably too many places. But Chocolate, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Chocolatebear80. That's my gamer tag on Xbox Live, and I'm also on twitch.tv/Chocolatebear80. Come say hello.
And I am DocH1X1 at Mixer, Twitter, and Xbox Live.
So everywhere.
Everywhere, yes. Everywhere. I'm right behind you.
What?
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming. We'll catch you guys next week for an all-new episode. Goodbye.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Oh